Hello and welcome to the channel. Today, I want to provide an overview on how to get involved in competitive shooting. Whether you're a seasoned marksman or a newbie to the sport, this video will give you the tools you need to get started. One of the most common questions I used to get as a firearms instructor was, how do I get into competition shooting? And to be honest, it's a fair question. When I decided to take a shot at competitive shooting in 2022, I had trouble figuring out how to sign up for a competition, what gear was allowed, and what the rules were. I'll admit, one restless night, I went down a rabbit hole trying to find local competitions. I wasn't a member of a gun club in my area, and most of my shooting was done at public retail ranges or private property. So I wasn't really sure where to turn. I ended up registering for a Steel Challenge match and just went in blind. You won't have to worry about that though, as I'll explain how to get into competitive shooting in this video. Competition shooting is very much a sport, complete with rules, scoring methods, divisions, and classifications that impact how you compete. There's also plenty of debate on whether this type of shooting promotes bad habits or improves training. We'll touch on that later in the video. For now, we'll focus on my favorite forms of competitive shooting, USPSA and Steel Challenge. I'll guide you through gear considerations, how to find local matches, where to register, and where to find the rules so you'll be more prepared for your first match. So let's start where I did, Steel Challenge. Steel Challenge is unique because it has a low barrier to entry. You don't need much experience with dynamic shooting to compete effectively in Steel Challenge. It's almost entirely stationary shooting. That's not the only great thing about Steel Challenge. Proficiency, speed, and precision under time is the focus of the sport. If you're not great at mag changes, dynamic movements, or shooting on the move, it won't matter in Steel Challenge. The point is to shoot all 5 steel plates on any given stage as fast as possible. You won't be penalized for missed targets, just keep shooting until you hit them. Steel Challenge's 8 standard stages, shown here, are consistent across all matches. With the exception of club stages, which are really just for fun, you'll want to get good at gamifying your approach and getting fast on just those 8 stages, which is an advantage of the sport. It's an excellent way to achieve maximum speed on the draw and engage multiple targets quickly, making it an excellent competition to get started with. So here's how Steel Challenge works. You'll walk up to the shooter box, make ready, and the RSO will say stand by. At the sound of the audible start signal, you will start firing at the steel plates as quickly as possible. One plate will either have a red post or a red plate. This is the stop plate. You must engage this plate last. Failure to do so will result in a significant time penalty. Any plates left unshot will also count against you. Given the sport is all about time, you can consider the stage lost with that kind of penalty. So be sure to hit all the targets and ensure that you hit the stop plate last. Otherwise, the order in which you engage the plates is entirely up to you. Each stage has 5 strings, and your 4 best times will go towards your score. So if you mess up one run, don't worry about it. That bad score will not count. If you want more information about Steel Challenge, let me know in the comments. Next up is USPSA, which stands for United States Practical Shooters Association, a subdivision of the International Practical Shooting Confederation, better known as IPSC. USPSA introduces dynamic shooting courses designed to test your precision, speed, and movement skills. You will need to reload on the clock, and you'll be evaluated based on a scoring method called hit factor, which considers points and time. You'll engage in a mixture of steel plates and paper targets. Different portions of the paper target, shown here, are worth different points. Shots in the alpha zone count as 5 points. Shots in the Charlie zone are 3 or 4 points depending on whether or not you are shooting minor or major power factor, and shots in the delta zone are 1 or 2 points. Now, you're probably wondering what I mean by power factor. Power factor refers to the caliber you shoot. Generally, shooters who use a 40 caliber or 45 caliber fall into the major power factor, while shooters utilizing a 9mm handgun are in minor power factor. What you need to remember is your caliber of choice will affect your score. 9mm is the smallest caliber that is allowed in USPSA, while in IPSC, where civilian ownership laws dictate, 380 is acceptable. So how does USPSA work? Let's dive into it. USPSA operates by starting each stage with a briefing from the range safety officer. This briefing includes the course of fire, starting position, and any specific rules for the stage. Unlike Steel Challenge, which always starts from the shooter box, starting positions may vary from stage to stage. When the range safety officer gives the audible start signal, you may draw and engage targets in any order, except on classifier stages, where you may be instructed in which order to engage. So now you're probably asking, what's a classifier stage? If you're unfamiliar with classifier stages, they are a component of USPSA used for determining how you rank against other shooters of the sport. Due to the variance in stage design, determining proficiency in the sport can be difficult. Therefore, classifier stages are standardized stages that all shooters must complete to receive their classification. These stages assess speed and proficiency to rank shooters. If you're unsure how classification works, don't worry, we'll discuss them shortly. In general, a USPSA stage will include fault lines to mark the shooting area. You may move freely across the stage in any way you choose, but you must engage targets from within the designated shooting area. If you step outside of the shooting area, both feet must re-enter before shooting another target. Each paper target requires 2 rounds on paper to receive full points, while only 1 round is needed for steel targets. If only 1 round hits a paper target, you will receive a penalty and not receive full points. It's understandable if some stages look complicated, and it may seem challenging to determine the best way to engage all targets. Fortunately, prior to running the stage, there is a period for a stage walkthrough. During this time, you and other squad members will have the opportunity to walk through the stage and develop a strategy. Use this time to think about efficiency of movement and to get a clear view of each target to plan the best position to engage from. Let's now discuss the different divisions and classifications. Divisions are used to group shooters based on the gear they run, since allowing all kinds of firearms and setups would make it difficult for some shooters to compete. Here are some of the divisions. Let's start with open. This division is open to any type of firearm and gear setup allowed in the sport. Shooters who compete in this division typically run custom-built race guns with flared magwells, frame-mounted optics, and gas pedals. If these terms seem unfamiliar to you, don't worry. You will learn more about them as you interact with experienced shooters. As a beginner, you will likely start in this division until you determine which division works best for you. Next, we have production. Production division can be thought of as the stock division. It doesn't allow for most modifications. This means things like flared magwells, optics, and compensators are not allowed. Shooters in this division run factory handguns with iron sights. Then we have carry optics. This is one of the most popular divisions today and can be considered a division for production guns with slide-mounted optics. Running an optic provides greater speed and clarity when aiming. Additionally, this division does not require a fancy custom gun, as several manufacturers sell production guns that are optics ready. This division also has many competitors, offering plenty of opportunities to compare your skills to other shooters. Some other divisions include limited optics, revolver, single stack, pistol caliber carbine, and others. Now, for classification. Classification can be understood as your rank against other competitors as a percentage of the best possible scores for any given classifier stage. They include Delta or D class, Charlie or C class, Bravo or B class, Alpha or A class, Master, and Grandmaster. Upon completing a few of these stages, you will receive a classification so you know where you rank among other shooters. It's important to note that you don't need to have fancy gear to compete in either Steel Challenge or USPSA. While some shooters may have competition-style belts, holsters, and high-end race guns, all you really need to compete is a belt, a holster, a handgun, a few mag pouches, and a couple magazines. If you end up really enjoying the sport and become more invested, then you can explore each division to determine what kind of gear is allowed and what division suits your needs. Don't let the gear considerations intimidate you. Focus on improving your skills and enjoying the competition. Now, in my opinion, the biggest barrier to getting started with competition shooting is understanding where to find competitions and how to register. For that, we have PracticeScore. PracticeScore is the website used for almost all competition registration across the United States. To get started, create an account on their website and search for competitions in your area. It can be helpful to search for local gun clubs prior to using PracticeScore. That way you can follow them and receive notifications on upcoming matches. Practice Score can also be used to look up scores from previous matches. For new shooters, it can be valuable to become a member of the USPSA. With an annual membership fee of $40, this membership allows you to receive a classification and track your performance over time. Now, we've considered the basics and covered a lot of the ground rules. But let's talk about the why. Why someone might be interested in competition shooting. As someone with some shooting experience, you may wonder if competition shooting reinforces bad habits or improves training. I can tell you what my motives were. I had taken a job as a range master and firearms instructor, and I wanted to find ways to become more proficient and to see where I stacked up against other shooters. I saw competition as a way to test my skills under time in a variety of scenarios rather than just performing drills repeatedly. However, it's important to note that competition shooting is not the same as defensive or tactical shooting. While there are similarities between the two, such as targeting and firing quickly and accurately, there are also many differences. USPSA, for example, often does not involve utilizing cover and rarely requires reloading at slide lock. Additionally, some shooters may shoot while balancing on one foot or around a barrier and overexpose themselves, which would not make sense in a self-defense situation. All that said, competition shooting can improve your shooting skills. But it's important to remember that it is not incorporating all aspects of defensive shooting techniques. So why would someone consider competition shooting? There are a few reasons that I believe make it a valuable experience. Reason number one, the skills you practice in competition shooting are still valuable training. By engaging multiple targets as quickly as possible, manipulating a handgun while on the move, speed reloading, and holster drawing in a precise and fast manner, you are honing skills that can be valuable and overall make you a more proficient shooter. Reason number two, many ranges do not offer dynamic shooting on the move, making competitions a unique opportunity to practice these skills. By breaking away from a flat range mentality and practicing shooting on the move, you can become a more well-rounded shooter. Reason number three, it's fun. Not every firearms-related activity must be no-nonsense training. You can have fun and enjoy yourself in a safe manner while improving your shooting abilities. And finally, another benefit of competition shooting is the community aspect. Shooting competitions offer a great opportunity to meet other gun enthusiasts in your area. The community is friendly and it's a great way to make friends, learn new techniques, and spend time on the range. All in all, I believe that the skills, opportunity, and fun provided by competition shooting make it a valuable experience for anyone interested in firearms. Even if you do not plan on competing regularly, trying it out at least once can be a rewarding experience. Thank you for watching this video, and if you enjoyed it, please consider liking and subscribing. Let me know what you thought of the video and any topics you would like to see covered in future videos in the comment section. I appreciate your feedback and support, and I look forward to hearing from you.